Hi everybody, it's Cookie Lou, finally home. Some of you know and some of you don't. I've had a bit of a problem, which brought me back to Monterrey to see Dr. Soseda. It's kind of a long story. I'm going to try to get through this quickly as I can. I'm going to be showing some pictures that are quite graphic. So if you really don't want to see them, don't watch this video. I was debating, should I show the picture, should I not? And I think for education purposes, I should. Where do I start? November 29th, I went to Monterrey, Mexico, and I had a tummy tuck. And it went well. I stayed there for approximately 18 days. I came back, I think, on December 15th. And combination of, so I went for the tummy tuck and I went for the breast implants. And this is pretty much what I look like in Monterrey. Waist was nice and pulled in. My incisions were fine. I had 2 drains. Stomach was flat. Came home, everything was hunky-dory. The only thing is I was, as with any surgery, Dr. Soseda is no different. When you are on blood thinners, as I am, during the surgery, directly after the surgery, they give you anticoagulant shots so you don't clot up. You don't want to throw a blood clot. It could kill me. I've had that done with every surgery. And of course, there's antibiotics that are given as well after any surgery, usually Coumadin, which I was given. And went back to the hotel. Everything was okay. Doctor did not take any lab tests to see what my INR level was with the blood thinners. He really doesn't do that. So he told me to go home and check with my anticoagulant doctor, and which I did, which I didn't do because I didn't have time to schedule the appointment. And of course, I didn't sit still and rest like I was told. I decided to, what is this here? It's driving me crazy. Okay. Women in their hair. And it's not even mine. It's a wig. So anyway, I had some situations where I needed to run about. I had to go to the bank several times. There was a situation going on with checks being stolen, and it was a big mess. And I went to Walmart to get my driving glasses put in so they could be done. I needed to get those for driving. And I was out maybe an hour and a half, but I shouldn't have been out at all. I should have been resting. I was home only a couple of days, and getting into the car when I was leaving Walmart, I felt a very strong pinch in my incision line on the left side of my stomach. And I went, oh crap, I hope I didn't pop a stitch, because that hurt. So I went home, and I believe I did a video on the 21st, and indicated that my right hip was much more swollen than my left hip was a lot more swollen than my right for some reason. And I think when I reviewed that video, I did notice a little red spot on the incision line, which was probably what I popped when I was getting in the car. I don't know, was it a blood vessel or what? But that turned into this. Now that is a bleed. Reason why that happened to me is that I later found out through laboratory tests that my INR was like 4.15. It was really high. My blood was really thin, so when I popped whatever I popped, it bled into this bruise. This happened rapidly within a couple of days, and it got worse and worse, and I felt like it was really screaming at me, and it was really biting at me, and I still running around like an idiot going shopping. So I felt it was gonna blow, and this is what happened. It did blow in the bathroom. It just popped, blood everywhere. It looked like it's running down my leg in the bathtub. It looked like a crime scene. Very graphic, please. I'm going to show you the hole in my stomach. There it is. It popped. And it was hemorrhaging. And I went to the phone and I called 911 and I told them what happened. They sent the fire department. Look at the size of that sucker. And this happened so quickly, this redness, this fire engine red bruise happened within a couple of days. And I knew that something was going on. I contacted Dr. Soseda. He said it looks like either a seroma, but it could be a bleed. Check your INR. And I didn't have time to do that. And he said it needs to be drained. Get to a doctor, get to an ER. Now this is the 23rd of December, Christmas. No doctors are available. They say call 911. I says, yeah, well, thanks a lot for nothing. And I didn't have a chance to get to 911 because I blew it. It blew. It exploded in the bathroom. And I called 911. The EMTs came. They saw this massive mess in the bathroom. They said, what happened in here? I said, well, I had this bruise and it kind of blew. I don't know if it was a seroma or what. He said, we have to bring you to urgent care immediately. They did in the ambulance. They brought me to urgent care. They took a blood test. That's when I found that the INR was very high and why I was probably bleeding. I probably did pop a vessel or something in my running around in the car like an idiot. And they cauterized the wound. They could not stitch it because they said it would get infected. It's best to leave it opened and allow it to heal from the inside out. It's going to bleed. I have to keep changing the gauze, putting antiseptic, and I just have to be patient. Let nature take its course. In the meantime, I am sending all this information to Dr. Soseda. He told me it looked like something that needed to be drained. He says, if you can't get anybody to help you because of the holidays, come to Monterrey. I'll have the clinic ready, and I will take care of you. Because I told Dr. Soseda, nobody will take care of me. I said, well, come here. I'll take care of you. So, but then when this thing popped like it did, I sent him pictures, and he went, Lucille, don't panic. Better out than in. I know it's scary, and I know that it's a lot of blood. He says, but best that it comes out of you than stays inside you. He says, if you still want to come to Monterrey, I'm here, ready to take care of you. Patty is here. We will give you 24-hour care. And that's why I went back to Monterrey. Here, I would be sitting with this mess by myself. In Monterrey, I know I would have his eyes on me every day, Patty's eyes and caring hands on me every day. And I just felt safer in Monterrey. So I flew back to Monterrey, and I was there for 12 days and came back on Sunday. I still have the wound. It is shrinking, as you can see. It is still dripping, but it is shrinking. Once it was under control, they said, you can go back home. You know, I mean, this is where I was in Monterrey. I had the lovely bed, nice room, just like a hospital room. Patty showered me every day. There's a picture of Monterey Mountains. I had all kinds of food available to me. I felt safe. As you can see, I was a little happy there. And in room 701, if any of you is going to Monterey, I suggest you get room 701. It's a good room. And, you know, there's the elevator and whatever. The hotel's nice and clean. Anything that you need is right there. It's outside my room in the hallway. And I you know, it's starting to shrink. It's starting to be taken care of. Patty came every day. Dr. Sosedi came every day. And it's not because of the operation. It's not because anything went wrong with the surgery. Not because I had it done in Mexico. And none of that is the reason. This is simply because I was on blood thinners. There's always a higher risk for things happening when you are. And truthfully, when this started to happen, it's my fault. I didn't sit still. I got in the car and I started running around, running errands. I think, oh, a couple hours aren't going to hurt. Well, it did hurt. It did hurt. We're now 3 weeks out of surgery. That's the sensitive time when the stitches that he puts inside are dissolving and they're weakening. So it's not a good time to be getting in the car and driving around, but I did, and I paid the price for it. So remember, people, when you have surgery, even though you're 3-4 weeks out and you feel like you can do things, you really can't. You must sit, live the life of a cat, and just sit in a chair and purr. That's it. So I did have a serious issue, which I'm still, dealing with. It is what it is. I'm not going to show you much of anything, but I wear a little diaper. I have a sanitary pad covering the bandaging, and I change it every couple of hours, the bandage, when it gets soaked. I used to have to change it often, but now like maybe 2 or 3 hours I change the bandage because it gets soiled. And that's it. That's my catastrophe. And my fault completely. Circumstances, medication, being on antibiotics also was another stupid thing on my part. When I saw this happening, I thought I might be getting an infection. So I took 100 milligrams of amoxicillin. I jacked up my INR, made my blood thinner. And then the next day I took another 50 milligrams, jacked it up again. So antibiotics and warfarin does not mix. It makes your blood thinner. It makes your INR higher, and gives you a stronger risk of hemorrhaging, which is what I did because I had a wound that popped and I hemorrhaged. And it's no fun. It's still no fun. But it's what's been happening with me. It was worth the money that I spent to go back to Monterrey, the hotel, the airfare, the whole thing. I started the journey. Kristen Bonilla in San Antonio knew what happened, and she said, come here before you go to Monterrey. So I went to San Antonio. I spent the day and evening at Kristen's Christmas Eve. And she saw what I had going there. And she said, oh, glad you're going back to see Dr. Sauceda. That's where I'd want to go. If that was me, if that hole was in my belly, I'd want to go to Dr. Sauceda, so you're doing the right thing. The next day, she drove me to the airport, and I took Interjet, about 45-minute flight from San Antonio to Monterrey. Dr. Sauceda's driver picked me up, brought me to the hotel. Dr. Sauceda came with Patty immediately to view me and said, clinic was not necessary, hospitalization was not necessary, we could take care of this daily in the hotel, which is what they did. He said, you can stay as long as you like. We will be here every day, whatever medical supplies I needed. I mean, he asked me if I was in pain. I said no. He did not give me antibiotic because he said the disinfecting steps that they took when it happened at the emergency, the cauterization and the ointment and bandaging was really all that they would do. Now we just have to let it heal. I'll keep it clean and let it heal naturally. So it was great having him there every day and Patty there every day, and showering me and checking it, and yeah, there's a clot in there. That's good. The clot is good. The blood is the clot shedding, and then it'll reclot and shed, and he says all normal. So it was good to know that I had a doctor's eyes on me every single day. And they brought gauze, they brought ointments, they didn't charge tape, they didn't charge me for any of the services, they didn't charge me for any of the medical supplies, just I pay for the hotel and the airfare. And his time, her time, no charge. I certainly wouldn't get that here. So, needless to say, I'm glad I have Dr. Sosade in my life. I'm glad that I have, that when this happened, I had him to go back to help me. And that's the story, people. So I'm home, and I'm spent Christmas in Monterey. I spent New Year's Eve in Monterey, you know, nice and quiet in the hotel, and met up with a couple of other ladies. Tammy Kittner was there getting surgery. She was so sweet, and her mother was there, Jillian, and they helped me out. They were, you know, bringing food up to my room and you know, inviting me down to share a meal with them, and it was just nice having the company. And then another girl, Suzanne, came in for some surgery, and I spoke with her a little bit. It was a nice holiday, you know. It was festive in the hotel. They had Christmas trees, and they had Frosty, the snowball, the snowman by the front door ready to greet me. And so I was there twice, November 29th for the tummy tuck, and then 3 weeks later, and there was Snowball, the snowman, still waiting by the Hampton Inn to greet me as I walked in the door. But it was great meeting Suzanne, and certainly, you know, my heart goes out to Tammy, and her husband Kevin was very good. He went to the store and got me all kinds of cheese and snacks, and Ritz crackers and flat of water, and he was bringing all this stuff up, and they were so sweet and kind to me, and I love and appreciate you. So, Tammy and Kevin, thank you so much, and Jillian for all the help that you gave me, and not only that, the support, knowing, don't worry, Lucille, it's going to heal. It's a big thing, and it's scary, but it's going to go away. It's going to heal. Just give it time, and it's not life-threatening. You're in the best place possible with the best medical care possible. And if they say don't worry about it, don't worry about it. So I'm home, and I'm not worrying about it. I'm just taking care of it. And I just wanted to share my story with you. It's been almost 18 minutes, so I'm going to sign off now. And that's it from Arizona. It's nice and warm and sunny outside today, about 75 degrees. So, okay, everyone. Love you. Bye-bye. Cookie Lou.